Hope you are doing great. Right. So, last time we discussed about how do you drive your execution, right? You have a plan, you have your goals, you have nice strategic plan, but for you to make sure your strategy is implemented in the marketplace, right, is to the expected level. You have to make sure that it has been implemented to the expected level without any flaws, right? Execution is the most challenging thing, right? You plan things like you write it down. Planning anyone can do. However, you go and execute as per the plan is a challenge that everyone is having, because you are dealing with people, because you have certain other market conditions. The market is not only for you. Competition is out there watching you, reacting to what you are doing. So therefore, there is a model that we discussed for you to get things executed properly, but not 100%. It's not practically possible. Properly and effectively, we can use this model. This is called McKinsey's 7S model that we discussed last time. Yeah. So there McKinsey has introduced 7 S's. Out of 7 S's, there are 3 hard skills and there are 4 soft skills, right? Soft elements and hard elements, right? So we discussed those things like whenever you really want to execute, right, plan your execution, you can think about these 7 S's, and also evaluate how you are, how ready you are in terms of each S's, right? The beauty of the execution is like all these S's should get properly integrated. If you don't have that integration, right, things will not move forward nicely, right? Okay. Now we are moving into marketing mix strategies, right? So we discussed about some of the strategies, growth strategies, right? BCG metrics, right? We discussed about generic strategies. These are some of the strategies that you can use, right? In marketing, on top of the strategies that I mentioned last week, we have strategies for each piece, right? For each P, there are specific set of strategies. Even the BCG metrics that we have discussed, that is for portfolio. Yeah. So same thing we can introduce here for the product, because product and the portfolio the same thing, right? So let's try to understand what is a product or a service, what sort of product types that we have, right? Products are also different from the type and from the kind of category that products are in. Yeah. So based on that, the consumers' behaviors are also different. When you are devising strategy, you have to always think about how consumers in this particular category behaving, and your strategy should be adapted accordingly. Yeah, so this is what we are going to discuss, right? Product or service. Any business, there are 2 things that we are offering, either a product or a service, right? These are the 2 main things that the organizations or the companies are offering to their customers or consumers, right? Okay. So if you take product, right, or a service, we have product and the service. The definitions of product is a tangible thing, that, right? it is a, offering which will help consumers to satisfy their need. It's an offering which will help consumers to satisfy the need. It's very basic definitions, the product, right? If you take product, it's tangible, right? But certain products, they have certain features, right? For example, if it is a consumer product, fast moving consumer products, or any product that on daily basis use it, they are homogeneous in nature. Meaning like, you get the exact same product every day, every time, right? There could be slight differences based on the production badges. Otherwise, there are no any changes, like no homogeneous. But take services, for example. Services, not homogeneous. Services are heterogeneous, meaning the service that you receive is different from person to person, is different from time to time. For example, we'll say you are going to a restaurant for a dining, all right? There will be the waiter who serviced you yesterday. We'll say you get the same waiter even today, but that person will not be able to give you the exact same service he or she had given you yesterday. Yeah. Depending on the kind of pressure the person is in, depending on the time of the day that you visited, depending on how busy the restaurant is, and depending on the health conditions or the psychological conditions of the person, the service could be different, right? Learn from the same person, like service could be different, but the product is more homogeneous. The production, the batches, like so you get the same product today and tomorrow. Yeah, every day you get the same product. But service is different, right? Service is a type of product that is intangible and does not result in the ownership of anything, right? So product do have the the ownership. If you go buy a car, you have the ownership. You have that ownership, right? Okay, I paid, I bought it, right? I have the title. I am the owner of the product. So even a property, yeah. So we'll say a plot of land is a product. You have the ownership. You paid and you got the ownership, right? The service, there is no ownership as such, right? You went to a restaurant, so you got the service. Like, do you have the ownership? No, you don't have the ownership, right? Ownership with the service provider, right? But you got the experience, for that you have paid. So those are the differences between product and the service. Yeah. Then, like experience, we are getting experience, a type of a product that combines a service or physical product with a memorable experience. Okay. So this is something additional that we'll get, so we are trying to achieve, right? Even, companies who are having physical products, they are also trying to give experience to consumers. Services, they are offering a service, they are trying to, give a memorable experience to consumers or customers. Why? Because, they always want to differentiate themselves. They know, like, anything can be replicated. Anything can be copied in this world. What cannot be copied is the experience. Very difficult to copy that, right? Because the experience is like, is an combinations of many things, many elements. When you have many elements combined together, you get or you give the experience to your consumers. Take the same example for a restaurant. So you go to the restaurants, go to a restaurants. When you enter, you'll get like, different vibes, the, color arrangement of the restaurant and light arrangement, right? Lighting and, how things have organized, the layout of the restaurant and the, ambience and also like, how the staff is like, dressed and what sort of, greeting mechanisms they have, right? How they have service, like, so it could be totally different from one company to another company, right? That cannot be copied. Yeah. So therefore, people go looking for that experience also. Yes, there is a product or there is a service, but so people go to places or go to certain retail outlets to buy things for that experience. Yeah. So why like so in certain markets you get like mega supermarkets, right? Everything under one roof, a concept like that. Because people are coming to get not only to buy stuffs, but also to get that experience, spend time there, right? Enjoy with the family, and whole lot of experience that they are gaining, by visiting these like mega supermarket outlets, right? Okay, so any question? Right. Okay. Right. Little bit more about the definitions of product. Anything that can be offered to a market for attention, acquisitions, use or consumptions, and that might satisfy a want or a need. Yeah, is a product, right? It includes physical objects, services, events, persons, places, organizations, ideas, or some combinations of everything. Yeah. Service, a form of product that consists of activities or the processes, right? It has certain steps, benefits of satisfactions offered for sale that are essentially tangible and do not result in the ownership of everything. Yeah. For example, banking, hotel, airlines, retail, yeah, so on and so forth. All these are coming under services. Service, there is a clear process. If you take product, manufacturing and the consumption is happening in two different places in a product, right? Manufacturing is happening out there in the manufacturing plant, but the consumption is happening at home, right? There is a different time period also in product. But on the other hand, in services, manufacturing consumption is happening simultaneously at the same time. Service provider is manufacturing, customer or the receiver is consuming at the same time, right? So understand the differences between the products and services. Yeah, right. Okay, let's focus products now, right? In a product, any physical product, there are three main types in a physical product. The first one is the core benefit, like core product, right? Which is which is what consumers are looking for in order to satisfy their need. The core product, right? For example, if you want to capture the moments that you have, and you want to refer back in a future day, right? So for that, what you want to buy is a camera. Yeah. So the camera will give you the main requirement that you have is to capture the moment, right? Capture that important moment. For that you are buying a camera. So the core product is a camera. The core product gives you that core value which you are looking for. Okay, buying a toothpaste. What is your core value? The main purpose of buying a toothpaste is to protect your teeth, right? Brush your teeth, protect your teeth, and it should have some basic ingredients like fluoride. Yeah. So this is your main requirement. Yeah. If any product gives you that core value, then you will definitely think about buying it, right? Because it's helping you to fulfill your need. Yeah. Then the type number two is actual product. Even though the core product is a camera, the actual product that you are buying is not just a camera. It has many other features attached to it, right? You got many other features attached to it. That is what you are buying. Yeah. Co-product alone, you go keep it, we'll say, on in retail outlet, right? Or maybe even in, we'll say, online retail store, right? Camera.lk or something you just go place it. People will not pay attention at all. Even in a shop, if you keep it, people don't pay attention. Right? They might think, okay, this is not for sales, right? This may be an antique, item just to show, just to, give that atmosphere only, it's not for sale. So that's the kind of, thinking people do have, when they just see the, core product. Yeah. But for you to make it a sellable product, you have to make sure that it has certain other features attached to it. If not, as a marketer in product concept, you are fail. Product B, you are fail. Yeah. So you have to make sure what are the features that you are going to add to make it a complete actual product, sellable product, right? One thing is for your product, there has to be a brand. Not people will not buy it, right? And there are many features. Yes, you are capturing the moment. But today, not that you need more than capturing the moment, right? As consumers, their behaviors, their requirements, their needs have changed. They need certain other features can you do what is the night mode, right? Um, what is the number of pixels, how far you can focus, right? All those added features have to be there for you to make it a complete actual product. And the quality, yes, very much important, right? You can produce an inferior good, medium quality good, or superior unmissable good, right? So there are three, you know, uh, main types that you can, produce. You can based on, again, you have to think about your target, how much they are willing to pay, because it always goes with how much they are willing to pay, your target. Yeah. Then the packaging. So one of the most important features in an actual product is the packaging. Yeah. For certain product types, packaging is very much important. I give you some examples. Like, if you take a perfume, right? Perfume. I think, like, all of you would have, gone through some of the shops in duty free, right? In any of the, like, airports, right? If you go to a perfumery, like, you would see there are different brands, nicely displayed. But the liquid that is there, maybe 50 milliliter or 10 milliliter or 50 milliliter, right? That is the volume. However, the packaging, right? How much effort that they have put, exerted to get that packaging, get that design, yeah, get that, like, specific bottle, the glass bottle, to give that premium look, and also to attract consumers, right? So imagine, yeah, in certain situations, packaging is expensive than the co-product. Yeah, the packaging is expensive than the co-product. Have you seen products like that? Packaging is expensive than the co-product. Yeah. Even if you take certain perfumeries, like, basic body spray or something, like, packaging is really expensive than the co-product. And co-product is cheap just because, uh, the entire, if you take the actual products, it's very expensive because of the out packaging. Yeah. Not only the container of the product, even if you take the box, the carton box, yeah, for the printing, for the material, like, it's really expensive. But, for certain product types, manufacturers are putting extra effort to get that packaging right. Get that packaging really, really clutter breaking packaging. And when you see it on shelf, like, it really differentiates. Right. So that's what the- um and also, like, packaging is very important when it comes to online. Yeah, because there is a delivery is happening. Yeah. So product has to be delivered in good condition. There can't be any defects. If there are defects, like, the first impression will be tarnished. Yeah. So you have to put an extra effort, right, in terms of, getting your packaging right, if it is a delivery, right? If it is an online business, right? So you have to make sure you have got the packaging right. So that's the actual product, right? So as a marketer, you have to think about, like, okay, what is my co-product and what's gonna be my actual product? What should be there, right? for consumers. Yeah. Depending on the product type, depending on the what market that you are in, you have to make those decisions. You have to make those decisions, right? So it's a strategic actions, not that as simple. Yeah. So take like the Rolex. The core product has to be right superior in terms of designing and craftsmanship, world class. Even the actual product, like people do want to see that brand name, engraved, right, on the wristwatch, right? So that has to be there. Otherwise, people don't see because that gives you the pride, right? Wherein a branded item, like you get pride when others see your brand. If not like a naked product, people will not. Even if it was made by Rolex, right? So people don't even uh, consider it, give it any thought to buy it. Yeah. So that you have to make those strategic decisions when you are designing your product, right? So what's going to be my actual product? Then the third one is like augmented product. Yeah. So this is where the whole differentiation factor comes in. People are trying to differentiate. As I told you earlier, like certain products, if you take product can be like copy. Any product in the world now today it can be copied, right? Technology has been like has got exposed to everyone, right? There's reverse engineering happening, so the technology is there for reverse engineering. So people can, dissect things in the product and, get to the core and understand, evaluate the product and remake the same product, right? So therefore, today, like, it's very difficult for you to differentiate your product from the competition, right? So then the evolvement that is happening in China, any product can be produced at a lower cost, right? At a lower cost because their labor is cheap and they are producing in large quantities, right? So they have that advantage. So therefore, you will not be able to differentiate your product from the competition. See, the moment the differentiation is out of the equations, consumers will go purchase the product based on the price if there is no differentiation, right? Why? Like, consumers, they want to fulfill their needs and wants, like, the same product, like, different prices. You go for the lowest price because there's no added benefits, right? So for you to, get the attention and, probably like, get some premium from the consumers versus the competition, you have to add certain things, right? That is what we call augmented product. So additional consumer services after sales, like so this could be maybe you are giving after sales services, delivery services. You are giving some easy payment options, and also like you are giving warranties, right? All those things like can be differentiators for you, right? So that depending on your product type, like if it is a home appliance products, like white good products, you need to think about how you are going to add more things or augment more things to your core product and to your actual product, right? Some products, of course, you personalize, yeah, to that person who is requirement and how he wants to differentiate himself. Like, based on that, you can get your product customized for you, right? So that's the kind of service. Certain companies, like if you take AC manufacturers, right? So they are why they are giving, like, after sales services, like, your free services, right? And and even if you take, like, certain households products, certain products like washing machines, right? So they have some augmented features, like, there is there's something called the alarm button, where when you go press that button, it will send a message to the um, you know detergent, liquid detergent producer or the supplier, right? That supplier will, deliver it to you. Yeah. So it's your convenience. So they have, added these, features, additional things for the actual product, right? So as a marketeer, what you need to think of is, like, what's my core products? How you are going to, present it to your consumers? What's your actual products? And also, how are you going to differentiate from the rest, right? Core benefits or services that you are giving to your consumers, and you'll get the actual product. It has packaging, the features, the designs, the quality levels, and also brand name, the colors, and, so on and so forth. All those things are what it is there in the actual product. That is what you are buying it, right? Then you get the augmented product. There are the installations, after sales service, warranty, delivery, the payment method, so on and so forth. All those things are the augmented features to the actual product. Then, your product is complete, right? Today, the consumers, uh, they are exposed to many different things, right? They always think about, like, which one is giving me a better service than the other one, right? Before they make that decisions, always comparing. It's very easy for them to, today gather information about the product. Yeah. So you go to, like, internet, very easy. Go to ask AI, like, will give a lot of recommendations, right? Or maybe, like, product reviews and all those things will give you some sort of, ideas, which product that you should go and buy. Yeah. So things have become complicated. So marketing is not that easy in nowadays. Like, you have to always think about as to how you are going to differentiate from others. Yeah. Okay. Products and services classifications. So we have, like, different classifications for products, right? So let's look at what are those classifications are. First one, consumer products. Products and services bought by end users. Those are all consumer products. Always thinking about convenience, shopping, specialty, and unsold products, right? So let's dive into these things, right? Then second one is industrial products. Purchase for further processing. Yeah. Why you are buying industrial products is mainly to, for your production process. Yeah. You are using this industrial product to produce something. Yeah. Further processing for use in conducting business, material, parts, capital, items, and supplies and services. The third one is organizations, persons, places, and ideas. Yeah. So if you take uh, advertising agencies, so those are organizations. Take like, lawyers, doctors, right? So those are like, under persons classifications. Places, the places, cities, regions, like, any other tourism attracted places, you can consider them. Ideas, create smiles every day. Social ideas to create social. So certain movements, right? Social ideas. Um, if you take like, uh, in the US, there were ideas like, like, um, there were like, movements like, um, again, in favor of black people, right? I can't remember the name exactly. There are certain concepts that ideas that has been driven, right? In the world, like, this is happening every day. You'll get new, concepts, new ideas, right? So that is, those are the kind of, uh, classification that we have. Okay, so we'll go one by one. Consumer products. Consumer products, there are four main types, as I explained. So there are four main types. One is convenience products. So these products, like, you buy every day, right? Every day you buy is very convenient products, right? And it gives us like, daily sort of, fulfillment, right? These are more sort of, household items. You have a routine. You have a routine, maybe like, monthly or maybe every fortnight or weekly. You have that routine to go buy these convenient products, right? Grocery items, right? Or maybe like, some household care products, personal care products, yeah, or maybe some of the food products. So those are the convenience products. But as a consumer, we all do have like, requirement for these convenience products. But, so we spend little time when we are buying convenience products, right? It's very low involvement, meaning you don't want to search, for information that much, right? You just go to the supermarket and buy like, what you want to buy. You have certain brands in your considerations, right? Or maybe a brand that you have been buying continuously, the loyal customer, brand that you already stuck with, like, so you are, um, you know, going and buying that, like, without any second thought, you are making that decision, right? So those are all convenience products, right? Then we have shopping products. That is, buy less frequently, but still your involvement is little low, right? Your involvement is little low, but so you would like to, go spend bit more time, go through it, like, browse properly and buy those products, right? So those are called shopping products, right? Uh, but for that, like, you are uh, trying to, probably gather some informations also before you buy the product, right? I would say, like, in certain markets, the cars are also shopping products, like, because it's it's a necessity. right? It's a necessity, but you don't buy frequently, but you buy like, in a less frequent manner. Clothing, of course, like, some people do buy like, quite frequently. But so that's also coming under the shopping products category, right? Then you have some specialty products. For this, like, there is a special purchase effort. There's a high involvement, right? There's a high involvement product, right? You are not going to buy it that quickly. Maybe when you want to, buy or condominium property, right? You're not going to buy it immediately. Even if you take like, if you want to buy a business or maybe or a plot of land, yeah. So you are giving it time, gathering informations, comparing all the options that you have, getting some consultations from others, getting some advices, right? Based on that, after the proper evaluations, then you are making the purchase decision, right? This is for specialty products, right? Here the Rolex, Lamborghini, so those are kind of a specialty products, yeah. Then unsold products. Unsold products is like, products that you you don't consider buying that much. Like, the need for these products would be like, very much in low priority. Yeah, very much in low priority. However, one point in time, you make that decision, yes, I want to buy these kind of products. Innovations, right? So new products, completely a new innovations came to the market. Yeah, that is an unsold product. Products consumers don't want to think about, require much advertising and personal sales. So these products, people don't even think of, buying. Then there has to be a much effort to sell these products. Life insurance, you know how difficult to sell a life insurance, right? There's a huge competition also, but still, like, people don't have that much of interest because they don't see that immediate benefit. Yeah. Yeah, blood donations, like, it is also a sort of, unsold products. Yeah. So these are the product type of products that we have under consumer products category. Okay. Right. So when you are trying to make a product purchase decision, right? Uh, there are certain things that you consider. You don't even hear the convenient product, you don't quickly decide the product, but in certain situations like convenience products, you have, certain products in your mind. You consider product attributes, then as a marketeer, you have to think about, okay, what product attributes that I have, right? What are the differentiators? What are the parity, point of parity and point of differentiators? Yeah, you need to have much, you should have the parity, right? So that is the core product. So those are the point of parity and the different PODs, differentiators. More the differentiators, more visibility, more attention to you. Then the brand, yeah. Brand has to get established, has to get like, into the consideration set of the consumers, right? When people talk about a toothpaste, what comes to your mind, right? If you get your brand to the top of the consumer's mind, that meaning, right, you have already done your marketing, right? So that is where you have to drive, like, how you are going to build the brand in consumer's mind. Packaging, yes, as I mentioned, like, what type of business that you are in, if it is a delivery online, so how are you going to protect the product? If it is like, high premium product, what sort of, packaging that you need? Yeah, high value product, packaging is very much important, right? And labeling, what sort of, labeling law they are prevailing in the country. Yeah. And in a label, what should contain, what messages that I need to give to consumers, safety messages, right? And also usage, how you are going to use it, directions to use, like, all those things to be considered when you are doing the label. And what after sales service, product support service that you are giving, right? Product and service decisions. Right? So in terms of the attributes, you have to think about the quality, performance, and satisfactions includes levels and consistency. Quality matters, like, when you maintain the consistency. If it is like, fluctuating, then there are some issues. Features differentiates the product from the competitions, assessed based on value and cost, right? So that's like, you can't, add all the features in the world in a product. That's practically not possible because there are like, there is a value that consumer is willing to pay. You need to consider that also, right? And the style and design, style equal appearance, designs is the heart of the product, right? So those are the product attributes. The brands, as I mentioned, right? Um, what is like, what are the colors, what is the symbol, the letters, font sizes, right? And the font style and all those things, like, they are in branding. Yeah. And people should be able to identify your brand. People should be able to differentiate your brand. And people should be able to feel your brand. And so that is branding, right? Packaging, yes, I explained. Labeling, I explained these things. Product support services also I explained, right? Right. Now, as a marketer, you have your core product, you have your actual product and your augmented product, and you know what type of product category that I am in. Is it a convenience shopping? So you would have a thorough understanding about that, right? Then you are making decisions about product lines. Product lines are group of closely related products due to function, similar target markets, outlet sold in, or similar pricing. That is called a product line. Yeah, product line. Ceylon Biscuit Limited. If you take a product like Munchie Cream Cracker, has product lines, different grammages, right? Different grammage, different size. So that is what you call product lines. So in a product lines, you have the length, number of items in the product line. All right, okay. Munchie cream cracker, you have like, 100 gram, 500 gram, 1 kg, 2 kg. Yeah, that is the length. You can, add on. Yeah, you can stretch the line. Adding items to either high end of the line can be stretched also downwards, right? So for example, if you take certain car manufacturers, right? So they have like, products targeting the bottom tier consumers and also targeting the same brand here. Like, you have different product, lines, right? Line filling, adding items within the product line range, increase the size. Line filling means like the best example is now in cream cracker market, you have like 50 gram, 100 gram, 150 gram, 200 gram. But you as a player, Munchie has 100 gram and 200 gram. There are two product lines or in the range you are absent. So you are filling, right? 50, you are introducing 50 gram, you are introducing 150 gram, right? So that is what we call line filling. Okay. Brand. Building strong brand. Branding is like, as I told you, like, building that positive attitude in consumers' mind. Brand equity means positive differentials effect that knowing the brand name has on consumer response to the product or service. Brands are more than just names and symbols. Brands represent consumers' perceptions and feelings about the product and its performance. Brands exist in the minds of consumers. Okay. Brand equity means how much of value that consumers have on your brand, or how much of feeling that consumers do have about your brand, or how has consumer got attached to you, right? That is what we call brand equity. Yeah. You never ever want to switch that brand, meaning you have very high brand loyalty. You have very high brand loyalty. So that is what we call the brand equity. When you have very high brand loyalty, you have a very good brand equity. All right. So what are the brand strategies as a marketer you can always think about, right? What are the brand strategies? The first one is brand positioning. How you are going to position your brand in consumers' mind. How are you going to position your brands in consumers' mind? Okay, I'll ask few questions, right? We'll say when you talk about chocolate Kit Kat, what do you think? Like, what is your idea? Is it a high quality, high value product, or is it a uh, moderate, affordable price and the moderate quality product? Or is it a cheap product with a very low price? What do you think? I think all of us have, eaten Kit Kat, right?
Yeah.
What do you think? Go ahead. Some brands like, when we hear it, okay, we know this brand is like, very expensive, right? But is a differentiated brand. Yeah, differentiated brand. It gives me the feeling that I am a you know, different sort of person in the society. Yeah. When you get into a Ferrari, drive in a Ferrari, it's not that no Ferrari experience only that you get. It's the social acceptance. How you differentiate yourselves from the rest of the people in society. Yeah. Yes, there is a driving experience, also something more than that that you get. Right. This is how Ferrari has positioned. Yeah. So you can, position a brand different ways based on price, based on quality of the product, based on the added features of the product, differentiation, innovations, right? Some of the brands like we know those are innovative brands. Every time there is a new innovations, right? Brand is changing every time. The product is changing every time. So those are what we call innovative brands, right? So you position your brands in a different um, way in consumers' mind. So similarly, like if you take countries, how Dubai has positioned in the world in consumers' mind, right? Is a business hub. So that is how Dubai has changed things, right? You come do business here, right? But achieving that status, for you to do that, for you to achieve that status, there are so much of things that you'll have to do. It's not that you do a advertising campaign and ask people to come and do business in Dubai. No. Yeah. There has to be like right legal system, there has to be other infrastructure, banking system, right processes in place, convenient, right? All those things has to be there for you to, drive that, right? That positioning. So if you want to make Sri Lanka is the best tourist destination, so like, there has to be, you can't just, advertise it, run a promotional campaign, get some like, influencers from different market and ask them to come visit and share their thoughts. Only that will not help you. And so how you are going to differentiate, how you are going to position? Is it the best travel agent or is it the, you can, think about different concepts like, if you really want to get versatile experience, right? Different experience from one country, something like that, right? You want like, uh, the beaches, like, different experience, like, wildlife, the different experience. And if you take like, authentic food, different experience, right? Traditional, the culture, like, different experience, ancient cities, so you need to package it in that way and position in consumers' mind, like, this is what you get. But if you just person come, to the best tourist destinations, people don't feel it, right? Yeah. So that is how you position, and the moment that you get your position right and drive in it, right? By integrating everything, then you will be able to increase the brand equity, right? Yes. Second one is brand name. Okay, so you now decide where you want to position yourself. Then you have to decide like, what is the brand name? This is like, when you are developing a brand, at the outset, like, when you are developing a brand, the name selection is very much important. You can't just put a name like, no, there has to be a meaning. There has to be a story behind it. And people should be able to understand your brand. Yeah. They should be able to also relate it. So it's not that simple. You go ask like, AI, give me some brand names for my products. Yeah, so there has to be the creative thinking behind this when you are selecting a brand name. Then what sort of brand sponsorships? There are different brand sponsorships. One is like manufacturer's brand, meaning like Coca-Cola, like Munchie, like if you take certain products in Singer, those are manufacturer's brand. Then you get private brand, right? Private labeling. So that is like, if you take in supermarkets, if you go to Lulu, Lulu has like, its own private brands for the category. Like, if you take rice, yeah, basmati, you have different brands. Lulu has Lulu basmati, something like that, right? So different sort of, strategy there. Like I am also a player in the category. Yeah. So if you go to, we'll say, floor cleaning category, Lulu floor cleaning. Yeah, you get that. Yeah, so that is called private brand. But for private branding, there is no much advertising because you don't want to advertise and try to spend more money to create that awareness. What you are trying to do is like, people who are coming to your supermarket, from them you are trying to convert some people for your brand, right? By lowering price, like private branding always like has a discounted price to the main brands in the category. Okay. Then licensing, like you are giving the brands to someone else, like you are giving the license to operate, right? License to operate. This is mostly like franchise operations. You might have like heard. If you take you know all these fast food chains, like so they have this franchise operation. They have given this license to operate in different countries in market. Yeah, take McDonald's, right? Pizza, KFC, like so they have this license in operations in other countries, right? So they are using the franchisee can use the brand as given the license, right? The co-branding, it's like so two brands together get together and creating another brand, right? Co-branding, right? So if you can remember National Panasonic, there's a co-branding, right? National Panasonic. Then eventually National is not there now, the Panasonic, but so they together like introduced National Panasonic. Yeah. So some of the brand sponsorships options that we have. Right. So then how you are developing the brands, right? So line extensions, meaning like you have the same line as I explained, Munchie cream cracker. Then you have 100 gram, 200 gram, 300 gram, 2 kg. Likewise, your extension, right? That is a development for the brand. Then the brand extension is okay. You have Munchie lemon puff. Then you have Munchie cream cracker, Munchie wafers. You have Munchie Mari. Likewise, a brand, same brand, you are using for different categories. Right? So this is a very famous approach, brand extension. Right? Why people are using a brand extension? When you are trying to get into a different category, different product, or different market, different industry, rather, you are using the same brand. You are using the same brand. SoftLogic, for example, in Sri Lanka, SoftLogic Insurance, brand is SoftLogic. Then SoftLogic Retail, SoftLogic Household Items, uh, SoftLogic IT. So likewise, different industries, same brand name, right? Why the brand extension like this? Because the main brand has that equity, which demands higher consumer authority. Therefore, when you use the same brand for a different industry or different product category, right from the word go, there is a consumer base already. Yeah, because consumers do know about this brand, trust about this brand, already has some sort of associations with the brand. Yeah, so they tend to believe like even a different industry or a category, they has that capacity, right? It's like diversification strategy, something similar, right? In terms of branding, we call it brand extensions, multi brands. Yeah, so you are not going to do brand extensions, right? But it's better to always think about multi-brand, introducing another brand and build that brand, right? Some companies think about multi-brand strategy than brand extension strategy, right? Especially fast-moving consumer goods companies, they have this multi-brand strategy, right? Take Hemas, like so Hemas has Diva, Hemas has Velvet, Hemas has like um Klogard, right? Take PNG, PNG has Ariel, PNG has uh you know what are the other brands PNG has? Tide, right? So there are different brands that PNG has, right? Take Nestle, for example, right? What are the brands that Nestle has?
Milo.
Yes, what else? Nestle has a lot of brands. Hmm? Nescafe,
In Nescafe, yes. Nescafe is one of
yeah.
them.
What else? Maggie in Sri Lanka, India, right? Cairo, there is another brand called Cairo, right? Nestle, so those are the brands that Nestle has, right? If you take like, companies like Kellogg's, what are the brands it has? Very famous, right? In the UAE, what
Yes.
are the brands? Hmm? No idea.
Pringles.
Yes. What else?
So
Very
cornflakes,
famous brands in that. Huh?
cornflakes that we are using on the breakfast.
Yeah, the
They're very popular.
cornflakes, Kellogg's, all brand, right? What else? Kellogg's has there's a brand called Ego, right? Have you heard about Nutri-Grain or something, if I'm not mistaken? Nutri-Grain, yeah, right. So these are like multi-brand, yeah, multi-brand. Even Coca-Cola has like multi-brands, right? Coca-Cola has like um, Fanta, like Sprite, right? So multi-brands. Why this multi-brand approach? Any idea about it? Why people like Coca-Cola would have gone with Coca-Cola um, something, right? Even for water, like so they would have like gone with the Coca-Cola water, but that was not the approach. Why multi-brand approach?
Uh,
Any idea?
Gain of portfolio.
Sorry.
Gain of portfolio.
Yes, very good. Yeah. So this is mainly for them to manage a portfolio, create a portfolio. First, when you have a portfolio, you are dividing this risk that you have, right? If you take brand extension, it has a risk, don't you think? If something happens to the main brand, SoftLogic, it will impact all these extended brands. It will have this negative impact. Yeah? But when you have multi-brands, one negative impact that you get for a brand, one brand is not having any impact to the other brand. Yeah. So Nestle has like no Maggie. Maggie, there are some negative perception, right? Because that Maggie has that negative perceptions that will not, have any impact to multi-branding. Yes, has a less risk factor. However, it's expensive in terms of building a brand. When you because you have to spend a lot of money to build the brand, right? It's not that easy also, right? New brands, multi-brands, and then new brands. New brands means like it is kind of like multi-branding. Yeah, you are. However, here you are completely introducing another company kind of a thing, right? It's not brands under one main company, mother company. You are, just completely introducing a new brand. Yeah. Most of the educational institutes, like, so they do this strategy, right? For marketing stream like one brand, one institute, right? For another institute for another, stream. Likewise, you have completely new brands. Yeah. So these are the main brand strategies that you could use, like when you are driving your product. Yeah. For your product, it has to be an augmented product, right? In an augmented product, you have extra services, but it has the actual product also. The actual products, yes, there has to be a brand. Yeah. But actual products, the brand, quality, everything is there. But the real value, if you don't give the core benefit of the product, I think you are lost. Purpose is not there. So therefore, you have to make sure you have the core brand, core product. Yeah. So everything is integrated. See, product strategy is not that simple. You understand? It's not that simple. People might think no, it's very simple. The product, okay, you just design a product and go sell. No. When you are designing product, you have to think about a lot of things. Think about what consumers are looking for from the product, the core benefit of the product, and how it should, be presented to consumers. What are the features and what is the brand that you are going to sell it with, right? And how you are going to build that brand, how you are going to position it, what's the name you are giving, right? So all those things needs to be taken into consideration. You use the brand strategy for your advantage, right? How you position in a smart way, even in a very short period of time, you can beat big giants in the market, right? So this is a very good example. Um, but so learn about how companies are doing, what sort of strategies that they have adapted, right? So try to relate those things with your learnings, right? What you've learned, right? Try to relate it because this is a very practical subject. Yeah. Thank you very much for that
Sure.
example. Super. Right. Okay. So I think I'm not going to go into this detail since we have discussed. You can go through, right? What is the brand development strategies, right? Same thing. Right. Okay. So any brand has a what? Product life cycle. Any brand has a life cycle. So this is a usual life cycle, right? Brand has a stage of introductory stage, right? Now it's just introduced, right? Of course, this before this stage, there is another stage, brand, the crafting stage, development stage, right? That is where you go to the drawing box and try the drawing board and think about what is the brand name, what are the colors, the symbols, how we are going to drive, and so that's the preliminary stage of the product, right? So then comes the introductory stage, meaning you are introducing your brand to the market. Yeah. So you would have seen companies doing brand launches, right? Google is very famous. If you take Apple, Samsung, so those are global launches. They are new products, new brand, right? Um, so that's the introductory stage. Yeah. During the introductory stage, what happens you have to create awareness instantly. right? Depending on the target audience that you are targeting, you have to, create awareness. For that, there has to be a lot of effort. There has to be a lot of effort. You have to, spend a lot of money on, especially creating the awareness. Your promotions, your advertising campaigns, so influencer, digital marketing, and everything. Yeah, that is targeting how you are going to create that initial impact, right? The buzz around your brand. Yeah, so that is what you call introductory stage, right? Introductory stage, as shown here, you can see your sales. Yes, your sales is very low, right? Your sales is low. So as your profit, maybe negative, minus, below zero. Yeah. So it will take time. You introduce the brand, the product, people will come, probably they don't adapt very fast. They don't consume that fast, right? Um, and they are a bit reluctant to, switch what they've been using also, right? So initial stage, sales is very low, the volume is very low. So as the profit, negative, most of the time negative, right? Most of the time, right? But there are some smart, people, smart strategies, uh, you know, those products or the services will get initial boost in terms of profit also, right? For example, if you take Apple, iPhone, the next version, right? So when they introduce, so they are earning huge money, right? Yes, spending a lot of money to create awareness. However, initial price of the product is, very much high, right? But still, people are in the waiting list. So that's the beauty of the brand, how they have built that brand. Yeah. A completely a different, life cycle. Profit is very high. Then so slowly what is happening, profit margin is coming down, prices are coming down, profit margin is coming down. So that's, and then come to the declining stage, right? So those products. So here introductory stage, this is a typical one. This is a typical. You have the introductory stage. Then you come to the growth. After some time, when you continuously driving the brand, having communications around it, and people will start, coming to your brand and start engaging with your brand and also making transactions. So then your volume would go up, right? So that is what you call growth stage. During the growth stage, volume is going up and also your profitability is back on track. Yeah. So you're getting the profit also. So after some times, then the brand comes to the maturity stage where, so you've got all your possible consumers, targeted consumers to your brand. They are now consuming and consumption is consistent. So once you come to that stage, there is no growth opportunity, right? Maturity stage. Then comes the declining stage, where due to many reasons, either consumers shifting from your brand to a different brand, or maybe there is a new version. Yeah. So brand is coming to the decline, or maybe industrial reasons like cameras, right? Or floppy disks. pen drives, right? So on and so forth, like industrial reasons, right? So the brand would come to the declining stage, right? So this is a typical life cycle that we have. But as a marketer, what is important is like what actions you are taking at each of these stages is very much important. What are things that you are doing? Yeah, so that we are going to discuss. We'll discuss this tomorrow. Thank you guys, right? We'll share the pricing distribution and also promotions tutorials you can refer. We will not go through everything, like I will not have time, but as per the we have only 8 sessions, 16 hours. So these are the areas that we can cover maximum during this period, right? I will discuss with you all product we are going to complete and the pricing we are going to complete. We'll touch little bit promotions and placement. So that's it. So with that, we will conclude the strategic marketing session, right? So that's the plan. I think we need to do where is it? The assessment also, I think we have to discuss it. Okay, so tomorrow we'll discuss the assessment. Right, okay. Thank you very much, guys, joining.